Biohazard warning. Entering contaminated zone. Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Backup activated. System rebooted.
What's going on, nation? Your boy Sly here, and I'm back with another Division video for you. Hope everyone is enjoying the new update. I know that I am. Hope you are too. Now, I know it's not some massive expansion, but guys, for free, I think this is pretty freaking awesome. Alright y'all, well in this video, I'm going to show you guys the best way that I know of how to beat the new incursion, Clear Sky. The first incursion, Falcon Lost, while difficult at first, is very routine. You can make a game plan, follow it to the letter due to the fact that enemies pretty much come out in a timed front-to-back fashion. Well, in Clear Sky, that is simply not the case. You are in an open environment, and while that does make running away a lot easier, it also opens up way more opportune moments for being flanked, and that is something the enemies in Clear Sky will use to their advantage all the freaking time. So while this is still new and new tactics are still being devised, I'm going to try to show you guys how my team and I pulled it off and what you can do to up your chances of success. So let's dive in and take a look at the beginning. Starting up in the first area is a nice warm-up area, I guess you can call it, and like one of the developers said, it's a great gear check. If you're having problems with this area, then you are not going to make it past this. So if that's the case, arm up, gear up, and try again with hopefully a little higher level behind you. Now the best way to do that is by far the HVT missions, guys. Me and a few friends ran them all day yesterday, and 204 and 240 gear sets were dropping like it was nothing, y'all. I swear to you that this is the best new way to farm high-end gear. Weapons, at least good weapons, were kind of hard to come by. But my sweet Jesus were the gear sets dropping like crazy. 240 gear sets were dropping at every single boss in the high value target weekly missions. And usually, at least one person had a 240 drop from the daily ones as well. Nation, I'm not exaggerating when I say that easily 6 pieces of 240 gear items dropped for me that day. And maybe even more. That's not even counting the 214s and all the weapons. It is truly insane. They said generous. Dude, did they deliver. So if you need some better gear, take your time and finish the weekly high-value target missions. You will be glad that you did. Alright y'all, so like Falcon Lost, it's best to have the SMG Marksman or SMG Auto Rifle combo. Also, my team found that it's best to use 3 Survivor Link and 1 Recovery Link for that oh shit moment. But 4 Survivor Links will also work just perfectly fine. Now, as for setups, this time around, I would not use support stations. I recommend everyone to run their own first aid skill with Overdose. Now, I like to call them healing grenades, so if you hear me say that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this incursion is very mobile. There isn't really a nice cozy place that you can just sit in and hide to escape enemies in the mortars. So dropping these will just be a waste of a talent slot. Healing grenades, as long as you have the master mod unlocked, have the ability to heal the entire group and then some. Strategically healing yourself within certain areas your teammates can all reach is very effective, and if done right, you can all heal 4 times every charge. So here are the 4 skills that I recommend your team to run on top of first aid or the healing grenades. First, have one person run pulse. You always want to have situational awareness of your enemies, especially in here because the flank is real in Clear Sky. So you'll want to use tactical scanner mod on this one and try to use it every time that it's up. Alright, so next, whoever has the highest amount of skill power should be running Smart Cover. Now this is a very underappreciated and very underused skill in the Division, and it works freaking amazingly well. Cover is everywhere here, but so are the enemies. Using Smart Cover not only increases your damage that you put out, but decreases the amount of damage that you take in total. Now the best mods for Smart Cover are Recharger or Trapper. We went with Recharger because it cools down your skills and it also slowly heals you while you're behind it. Use this in combination with your Tactical Pulse and you will see a drastic increase in your damage. Now, as you can look on screen right here, my skill power, it's pretty horrible right now with this new setup I'm running. It's at like 11.7. And as you can see here on screen, my damage resistance for my Smart Cover is at 32%, which is actually not really all that bad. Now, someone with tons of skill power could protect your team very well. Now, I think my buddy told me his smart cover damage resistance was like 60% when we were using it in the incursion, and it was a very noticeable difference whatever it was. And finally, the last 2 skill slots should be awarded to the flashbang sticky bombs. They create breathing room opportunities and are good panic buttons if need be. Shotgunners are still tough here, and a well-placed flashbang does the job nicely. Alright, well, with the setup out of the way, let's go ahead and get to it. Now, unfortunately, this first part has no real strategy. You're just mowing down enemies as they approach, and you're going to try to hold them back. What you're doing here is just like what you had to do in Falcon Lost. Kill the enemies, wait for an elite to drop C4 so you can then plant it on the obstruction. At the beginning, it's mostly level 32 veterans, but as time goes on, the intensity ramps up, and ultimately at the end, you'll be dodging shotgunners, snipers, heavy machine gunners, and of course, your best friend, Mr. Mortar. But don't worry guys, it's not that bad. Just remember, it's not timed, and you have miles of street behind you. If you find yourself about to be swarmed or flanked, run back and keep backing up until you weaken them, and then head back and reclaim your positions. It's best to have 2 tanks up at the front, while 2 strong snipers stay back a little bit and do damage from far away. But eventually, you will all end up together in the middle of the fight. So like I mentioned, you need to plant the C4 on this shipping container that is blocking the way. It's the same mechanic as Falcon Lost. Watch for the bomb carrier to come out and let him walk out towards you for a little ways. Don't snipe him and let him drop that bomb right where he spawns. Shotgunners and LMGs, I mean, all the enemies will spawn right there, and they keep spawning until you plant the bomb. You don't want to pick it up and then get spawned on. that would suck. So like I said earlier, this area is just like Falcon Lost. Shoot the most threatening enemies first, watch for the elite who carries the C4 and try to down him in a good area. Then simply grab the C4, plant it, shoot the enemies, repeat. No strategy really needed here, this part isn't that hard. And after a few bomb plantings, you bust your way through the middle and you're at the checkpoint. So if your team ever wipes, you won't have to restart and do the bomb thing all over again. You'll start from here, and that is good news because the first part is actually kind of long. Other good news, this ammo box right here is just like one from the safe house. Frag grenades, med packs, and ammo will bless you upon opening it, so just remember to grab this every time that you see it. Alright, with everyone ready and restocked, head over to this truck and jump in, but stay out of sight. Have one person gun it right up the center to activate the laptop. If you are seen, just pop security link and book it back. This is very easy, but this next part is tricky and it's all about timing. Remember those heavy fuse boxes you had to replace in the subway tunnel mission? Well, they are back and enemies don't stop spawning. This is where you have to devise some MMO style tactics and where a tank comes into play. So, after you completed the first part by sneaking up to the laptop, everyone is going to group up on the left-hand side and start pushing up as far as possible, up and to the left. Here is where you have to start to plug in the fuse boxes, and it's best to start with the left-hand side. What you want to do is engage the enemy as soon as they come out the door. You don't want them to keep walking towards the middle. So as soon as you activate the laptop, rush to the left and 3 people start pushing up and spawn trapping everything as quickly as possible. One person who's a designated runner that's going to carry it needs to hide behind cover right next to the box. Always take out the biggest threats first, guys. Snipers, shotgunners, and LMG guys. Kill the high threat NPCs, but don't kill a lot of the others. If you do kill too many of them, they're going to respawn. What you're trying to do here is get rid of the heavy hitters, and once the LMG and snipers are dead, have the runner pick up the fuse box and start walking. Now at this point, it's situational. If the 3 guys done their job and you have a clear shot, hop on over, plug it in, you're done. But if you get seen, have the 3 team members push to the right a little bit and try to break the enemy's line of fire at the runner. And once again, the best way to do that is by getting right in front of them, keeping them at the front of the map. Now if you do this right, your runner will slip by without getting shot once. The key is to push up and hold that line. They'll focus on you for the most part, while the runner who is behind you will slip by relatively unnoticed. Alright guys, so this is where it gets tricky. Now after the first fuse is installed, have everyone group back up on the front left side. Thin out the enemies as best as you can, and the goal here is to get all of the enemies, or as many as possible, to walk over to the left side. Once that happens, the person with the most health or most threat will need to stay there and be the tank, while the other 3 teammates slip backwards and to the right towards the other side of the map, trying to go get the other fuse. Now, enemies will spawn from 3 places: the left, the middle, and the right. The tank's job is to attract the attention of as many enemies coming out of the left and middle spawn closets, and holding that attention while the right side deals with the fuse and their own enemies. Now, the good news is that when done correctly, the right side will only have about maybe 6 to 10 enemies to deal with, not many more than that. The 3 teammates on the right need to move as a group, keeping the runner behind the front 2, and try to use back-to-back security links to get there faster. That's if you need to. Most of the time, if you do it right, you won't need to use it. Now, the poor tank on the left side will be getting a lot of bullets his way, and remember that you're not trying to kill everyone on the left, only trying to hold their attention until the right side is done. As you can see here, I only killed those who needed to be killed, and then I tried to put a bullet on as many enemies as I could so they would head my way and keep coming my way. Now, if it gets too hot, use security link and back up a bit. Even if the tank dies, it still takes a while for all those enemies to walk over to the right side, so more than likely, as long as they get to the left, you're good to go. Now, be the best and loudest distraction you can be. Grenades, flashbangs, and LMGs have naturally high threat levels. You can also add threat increasing mods if you really want to go hardcore pro with it, but that's really not needed. Alright, well, the hardest part is over. Now, unless something crazy unlucky happens, once you beat the fuses, you got the rest easily. So next, you have to activate the laptop to shut down the helicopter's defenses. You do this whenever an opportune moment comes your way. When the enemies are shooting your teammates on the far left or the far right, simply run up the middle, interact with the same laptop you used to start up, and after you completed that part, it's time for the boss. Now, the key to this guy is simply movement. Always be aware of enemies trying to flank you because they will be at every corner. I said earlier that Falcon Lost was neat and orderly. This is the complete opposite. Sometimes you're going to get shot from every direction, and that's something that you need to control. This is what makes Clear Sky hard, is that you're fighting in a circle, and enemies are coming in at all angles, if you let them get the better of you. Now, when the boss heads your way, use a ton of grenades and flashbangs. Make him drop the shield and tag him with as many headshots as you can. Once you get a decent amount of damage in, try to rotate around and get a shot on his back. Or if the tank wants to pull his attention, exposing the back to the boss, even better. Although being alone is tough. He does have a lot of health, but it's nothing super extreme. Now remember, if you can turn the boss around at some point, shoot the red box on the back of his backpack. This will ignite the bag, causing massive damage. But that's it, guys. The rewards this time around are insane, and they are definitely a lot better. Hang in there, you got this, and that's about it, y'all. It's more chaotic than it is hard, and this is so far the best way I've found to beat the Clear Sky Incursion. Now, if any other easier options open up in the future, I will definitely make another video showing them off, but right now, being as it's only a few days old, this strategy isn't all that bad. So yeah, good luck, agents. Be patient and always watch your flank. Keep as a group for the most part, and use your signature skills sparingly and at the right time. Do that, guys, and you'll be fine. But I'm out, y'all. As always, thank you guys for watching, and if you want to stay up to date on everything, The Division, Destiny, and new uploads from Slide Nation, Twitter is the best place to do so. Follow @SlideNation on Twitter to stay in touch with everything in gaming, as well as new uploads from my channel. But I'm out, guys. Have fun with the loot, and until next time, this is your boy Sly. Done, gone, out.